Hey guys, and welcome back to NoBlandMakeup, where we do makeup and body paint tutorials, usually with a cosplay twist. And today we're doing Sonia from Pokemon, because I said so. Specifically, Sword and Shield, I believe. I'm pretty sure, I'm mostly sure. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to let me know who I should do next in the comments down below. So to start off, I've already blocked out my eyebrows. I have a tutorial on how I do it linked in the cards. It'll also be in the description, most likely, if I remember. But definitely in the cards. If you already have pretty light eyebrows, you can honestly just get away with putting makeup over top of it. But I'm going to start by drawing off her eyebrows. This is more so I have kind of an idea of kind of the proportions of her face. Also, it'll kind of work as a framing, I don't want to say framing device, but like a framing device for when I start drawing in her eyes. So that way I kind of get an idea of where I'm gonna be able to put her eyes, if that makes sense. Then once I've done that, I just applied a little bit of foundation just to give myself more of an even base, because I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but anime characters pretty much have perfect skin. So we want to kind of perfect the skin. I've already primed, I'm just doing a little bit of foundation. And if you need to conceal, you can go ahead and do that, but keep in mind too that you're still going to draw on your eyes, so you might want to wait a little bit for that. Now for the eyes, I started off by just kind of drawing the basic shape of what I wanted her eye to look like. Also kind of keeping in mind that her eyes are way bigger than my face. Most like anime, manga kind of inspired characters usually have those kind of proportions. So if you've done this before, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I also left a space for where I was going to draw in her pupil. So that way I can kind of adjust as I go, just because putting darker colors onto lighter colors is a little bit easier as opposed to the other way around. You don't have to clean up as much, things like that. Once you've done all that, you're going to start drawing in the pupils. Now, I have her looking off to the side, kind of, sort of, definitely. But if you want her looking straight forward, I have a couple other videos where I've done like anime style characters and manga style characters looking straight forward, so I'll have those linked up above. But for the most part, you want to keep in mind which way your character is looking, because their eyes are gonna have to, it's gonna have to make sense, basically. So just kind of keep that in mind. And it's a little bit easier if you're doing just like still pictures. If you're kind of moving around, it's a little bit harder because you have to keep that in mind. Like if you're gonna be having her looking sideways, it's gonna look kind of funky if you're looking straight at somebody and she's looking off to the side, you know? So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing this. And then once you've done that, I started outlining the eye part. So go in like thin lines, and then if you have to thicken up a little bit, go for it. It's a lot easier to add than it is to take away, trust me. It's so difficult and it's annoying. But I outlined her eye, I outlined the pupil, or the iris, sorry. Iris? I think the iris is the colored part of your eye. I should really look that up. But you're going to outline that, and then you're also going to draw in her, yeah, it is the colored part of your eye. And then you're going to draw in her pupil. Unless I have that backwards. I really should look that up. Then for the lips, I basically just blocked out. I put foundation on my lips to kind of neutralize the color I naturally have. And then something that I've been doing recently that actually helps a lot is when your character you're doing doesn't really have like pronounced lips, you can, you know, when they have like just a line as their mouth, you can actually do that line on your bottom lip, so that way when you smile or like you talk or something, it looks less weird. Yeah, weird is definitely the word that I'm looking for. So I went ahead and did that, and I don't know, I feel like it kind of works, you know? And in a very solid attempt to make my life a little bit easier, and because I saw this video from Mighty J Cosplay, I'll have his channel linked in the cards up above for anybody who's interested. He does some really cool stuff up there. But I'm going to actually be outlining what I'm going to be doing so I can essentially just color everything in. And you want to know why this makes your life easier? Because you can erase the white eyeliner so much easier. Mighty J Cosplay has a bunch of like eyeliners and stuff that he's tried, so I'll have his video linked in the cards. The one that kind of got me to use this next one. I want to get the Makeup Forever one, but for now this is what I've got, and it worked pretty great. So if you're somebody who has issues with like finding something good to outline with, definitely check out his video. So once I've got everything outlined, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in the jacket, starting with the lapels of the jacket, or at least I think that's what those are called. Also the sleeve. Keep in mind though that one of the sleeves is going to be a little bit darker just because of shadow. But don't worry too much about putting on any shadows or highlights. I'm just going to put down the colors that I want first and then worry about that later. Also, make sure when you're doing your arm that you let the body paint dry. Granted, this time the colors are basically going to be the same, so if you get some like tan from your arm onto the tan of your chest, like it doesn't matter that much. But you still want to, like, if you do this a lot, just get in the habit of making sure that whatever area you're working on is dry, so that way it doesn't transfer as much. So the next thing I did was I went in with that teal color that's going to be my shirt. It has black stripes on it, but I did that later. So for now we're just going to focus on basically putting down the colors that we want and then doing details later. Also, if you find that your paints get a little bit streaky, try using a little bit less water. Sometimes that helps, surprisingly. Now, like I mentioned before with the sleeves for the jacket, one side's going to be a little bit darker just because it's supposed to be a little more shadowed. So kind of keep that in mind when you're doing something like this, that you are still going to have shadows and highlights. They just might not be as obvious. It does make it look a little bit more realistic. Granted, I have giant bug eyes drawn on my face, but you kind of get what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the strap for her bag in with black just really quick, and I'm going to do some of the outlining. Mostly so I can keep track of what I have going on. I'm not going to do the other lapel though, just because I'm going to be doing like a tan color there on my arm. So I don't want to mix the black with the tan. I want to keep that line really crisp. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing this as well. Now for the last bit of the like jacket and her clothes and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do the last part of the sleeve, and then once I have that all filled in, I'm going to outline everything else with black. I'm going to also, like for the jacket and stuff, I'm also going to do the stripes on her shirt. I would go with thinner lines and try to keep them as even as you can, just so it, you know, it looks like an actual shirt. But yeah. And also don't forget to do the little line on the side of your arm so it looks more like you're in a cartoon. And then to make this look just a little bit more realistic, I went in and just kind of colored in some patches that looked more like shadows. You don't have to do this part, you can kind of keep it the other way if you want, but I thought this kind of like brought it together a little bit more. Hopefully that made some sense. I don't know. But go ahead and do that, and also don't forget to add some highlights as well, since, you know, anytime you add shadows you want to add highlights just to balance everything out and make it look a little more realistic. But that is the finished look. Yes, I have a Pokeball. Don't judge. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had a lot of fun doing this, actually. I figured out that I don't look horrible as a redhead, orange head, I don't know, but not my favorite look on me. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Let me know who your favorite Pokemon characters are in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to see what comes out of my channel next, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!